This happened to me.
This place is cursed.
All right.
She's really reliving the events of that time, and it really is something you never get over. It's affected her whole life, and she might be getting better, but she hasn't gotten over it. She can't ever get over it.
Yeah, yeah. You can definitely tell that she was reliving it. It's kind of like she reopened the scar by looking at the place. I have to say, like, when it comes down to it, I can't defend wrong. I don't feel like defending wrong. So, but I am gonna play devil's advocate. Just because we have to look at the other side and opposition, as far as instead of just looking at it one-sidedly. She had the opportunity to be in a presence of somebody that had a lot of money, and with the ideal of becoming a star, and she could have taken that and went past what she thought was morally good for her and put herself in that position because of the ideal of being a part of the rich group or the models that made it. And this is something that a lot of people do in real life, where they go to California and they get taken advantage of, and they wonder why it happened. My whole thing is, if you deal with people who want to become rich so bad, they might sell out their mother. And that is something that happens regularly. And you see people, like, let's say that we were from Haiti, and somebody gave us a bunch of money to oppress Haiti. That's stuff that does happen in real life, where I believe it was at one point they had somebody in there that was making a difference in the American population, as far as the government gave them funds of money in order to kill or assassinate their leader. And I say that saying that we cannot live for only money, because if we only live for money, we will do things that we regret, because normally the people who have all the money used to have slaves. Those people who own those slaves and then turned their money into railroad money, and then had that backing of the houses that look like the White House. I believe there was a kind of the White Castle that was burnt down in Louisiana that a lot of people had mixed feelings about. It was incident that happened where the house, a slave house that went up in flames, and the black population, so even some of the black population was mad about it, because they was thinking about the money that the people lost as opposed to the what it represents. And that's when I'm saying, when it comes down to it, just because we have people that share our reflection does not mean they share our mind state as far as our true brotherhood. They rather share the mind state of the people that oppressed them back then, and say it happened so long ago, you shouldn't care about it, it doesn't matter. Why even talking about that? Not even thinking about the fact that in 1960s that we still had the color stuff going on, where what was the water fountain non-colorized, was no more segregation.
The segregate. You're talking about Jim Crow era. Where
yes, I'm just saying, when we be able to drink from the same water fountain? What year was that?
I'm not quite sure what year exactly, but it was in the early 60s, where it didn't seem like it made that much of a difference in Washington, D.C. It really depended on where you were, I think, how far you were down south, because there's some places now where there's sundown towns where you can't even go into town as a black person after 5 o'clock in the evening and feel safe. So, there are some, the things have changed. They say you can drink at the fountain. They say you get the right treatment from the same doctors and the same professionals, but It really depends on the professional and depends on the society of the town.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is become an experiment and you don't know your experiment, which that did happen and take place where they might give you syphilis and see how you react. You think you're just getting a flu shot and they're infecting you.
Right.
Let's go ahead and we're going to look at Kash Patel on his belief in 2013. Kash Patel, his belief on 2013, dealing with Epstein's list.
So are you, like, in closing here, I want to just be very clear. Republicans could get Epstein's list out now? Like, how would that process work?
Simple. One subpoena to the FBI. Give me the list. Oh, you don't want to give me the list and you're going to break the law and commit contempt of Congress? We're going to take your money. We're going to take Chris Wray's private jet. Taxpayer-funded G5 rides across the country to his Appalachian State vacation home down to Georgia and all over the rest of the place. That guy doesn't need a G5 government-funded jet. And the second you take that money, you get Epstein's list.
Here's the problem, Kash, is that they shut down the Lolita Express. So how are these guys going to fly on a private jet anymore? It's really a quandary, my friend.
Oh, man. I love it.
2, please. Make that 3.
All right. So let's remember that. Let's remember that's what he said.
Yes.
In 2013, he was basically stating that it's so easy for the FBI director to just see it, and who became the FBI director, and now is like mum's the word. What file?
His name isn't Epstein. His name is Kash Patel, who became FBI director and is stuttering about what you're going to do with Epstein files.
Yeah. So this next video we're going to be looking at and track. It's going to be a tracking of every visitor that went to Epstein's island. And the reason why this is important is because if they went to the island, they could have had unconsensual relations with underage people. And I say it like that because underage person cannot consent. At the same time, just because you're on the island does not mean that you did anything. All that means is that you had the opportunity and you basically took advantage of what was going on. So, all right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So this next one is going to be Kash Patel talking about the FBI Epstein Black Book as the FBI director, no longer the opposition. He's now he's like a turncoat to me. He's like almost a traitor to his own beliefs. You know, his 2013 self will probably shoot his present 2025 self if he knew that he was going to do this.
Absolutely. It'd be part of the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
Has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book? FBI.
But who? That is that I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school. We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a Black Book.
but the Black Book, it's not just sitting. I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book. And not just that. On day one.
Oh, what he say? On day one, roll out the Black Book.
Yep.
Okay. So I thought this was when he was FBI, but this is still before he was FBI. 2023. What do you say?
But yeah, he said he's not the FBI director, but he's saying that when the Trump people get back in charge, day one, they need to open up this information because it's that important. It's been day 120.
I know, right?
Roll out All of the text messaging communications
They're not gonna
we were
open
told
that.
were deleted. On day one, play the rest.
Oh, you say what?
They're not going to open that information. There's a lot of stuff behind it, right? If you know who's pulling the strings, then you'll understand why they're not going to open that information. There is still a belief that instead of what people believe that Jeffrey Epstein died, so he's actually was actually taken out of the country. So there's a lot of stuff there that to open that would unearth a lot of things that they don't want people to know. So no, that's not gonna happen. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. All right.
Of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, he needs.
You say it's got to happen, huh?
It has reached a certain level of insanity that is all through the conversation about politics. It's all through the president's mouth. It directly implicates the president and his personal friends. It's going to have to come out one way or another. It will not be held back.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish out this last minute on this one.
For the pipe bomber. On day, he need one of the reforms I talk about in Government Gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it. And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote. Still under lock and key on how the ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusion. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it. And the government gangsters came in and buried it. All of these things, there needs to be a continuing central power, whether it's the White House or offsite, that says every request that comes in, just right out the door, as long as it's not a major threat to national security.
No matter who gets elected, in the Epstein video.
All right. Yeah, this is Tucker. Y'all want to listen to Tucker real quick before I make another statement on it?
Tucker Carlson?
Yeah. Do y'all have anything else to say about Kash Patel's position before we listen to Tucker talk about his position?
No, let's hear Tucker.
All right.
No matter who gets elected, the Epstein videos remain secret.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought we could all sleep well at night now knowing that Epstein legitimately killed himself, right?
What was that?
Did that just come out?
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself.
You weren't convinced by that?
No.
Why?
I've dug into that, and it's just so spooky. I mean, how do you charge a guy with sex trafficking when there's no end users that have been charged? Who did he traffic to?
What do you think that was?
What do I think it was?
Yeah.
I think it was a blackmail operation. What do you think it was?
I think it was a blackmail operation run by the CIA and the Israeli intel services, and probably others. French intelligence always has a hand in everything, I've noticed. Probably them too. The usual darkest forces in the world colluding to make rich and powerful people obey their agenda.
Well, the thing is, I can see them using Epstein Island as a way, like
Most people are.
Like it's a way. Once I get your hands dirty, and I see you with that 15-year-old girl that looked like she's 25. You didn't know she was 15 because she's blessed to impress. She's blessed. You didn't know that. And now I went to the island not knowing about Epstein's whatever he got going on, and I'm a new celebrity, and I'm just like, man, these people, they balling. Hey, I'm in the room. I didn't know that there was a camera there. And I just happened to do XYZ with this girl. I'm thinking 25, but she's really 15. Now I'm always in your pocket. You can always call me and I'm be like, all right, man. Hey, I don't want to spend no time like that, bro. What you got? And that's kind of like what I'm saying about that blackmailing thing. where it's like it's like a very complex thing, because like if you see how a lot of young women are built nowadays, some of them only 15, but they look like they're 22.
Absolutely.
And they get fake IDs.
Facts.
And they're able to get in places that they're not supposed to, because as boys, even if we have a fake ID, if we don't look the part, they're going to say something. But as young ladies, they come in and they might pay a little extra cost to be in, to not show the ID, because your aunt is with you, and your aunt is then showing you the ropes on how to do things. And one case I have to say is like Akon. Do you remember when Akon was on stage dancing with an underage girl?
Yeah.
He even had a whole song, I'm Sorry.
I'm sorry.
And I was a good hit song too. And the reason why I mention that is because you're supposed to be grown. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you jump on stage in a 21 and up place. How am I supposed to know you're only 14? You know, and I'm performing.
Not that she was hiding. Not that she was like, you know what? I don't want to be caught here. All right. I want to enjoy myself, but I don't want to be caught. She wasn't hiding.
Yeah. And because she wasn't hiding and she was out in the front, he's just treated her like any other 20-plus-year-old person. And now he got these charges and this potential. And believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things my brother can do, but one thing my brother can't do is have sex with underage people and me feel cool and okay about it. And I say it like that, like if any of my brothers or sisters were taking advantage of grown people, I'm gonna shut up. But you're not gonna do that to a 15-year-old and me know about it. That's something you better keep to yourself. You better die with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Y'all can go ahead and chime in before I start the next one.
Well, ever since the original FBI director Hoover, the FBI has stood up on the thing of bribing people and extorting people into doing things because they have information. That's what they tried to do with Martin Luther King and other leaders around the civil rights era in the early 40s and 50s and 60s. But also, this stuff is so horrendous. If you are involved with anything involved with children, it needs to be exposed. And this needs to be exposed. And it just makes me sick that these people are in power and they're saying, you know what? As soon as the FBI, as soon as Trump gets in power, he needs to expose this. And then because he's a part of it, he doesn't expose it. So they don't point out the fact that the powerful are hiding the facts about the people who need to be punished. And that's what we need to have happen here. The people around Jeffrey Epstein need to be exposed and punished.
They're always going to keep quiet on these things, though, because it's the powerful ones who enjoy that type of excitement and debauchery. That's their thing. All right. So to say, oh, they're going to be punished or they need to be punished, they do. But once they control the narrative, all right, how are you punishing them?
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that ever since Russia came in and stopped Hillary Clinton from becoming president, the investigation into that has been removed from our attention because the criminal who won is in power and has all the levers of the Justice Department to hide this. And so that's why he can get out here and say all this stuff now. He's a criminal.
Of course.
Yeah. And so we need to stop just accepting the fact that a criminal says you shouldn't look into something. We need to have the other 500 or so politicians on the federal side, the Senate and the Congress, stand up and say, we need to at least look into it. We need to talk about it. This is going to have to be exposed. It's got to be.
All right. Let's go ahead and we all know about Indisputable. My boy, I love him. He's great. And
Dr.
he's
Richie.
huh?
Dr. Richie.
Yeah. He's great when it comes down to really putting the dog's nose in that boo-boo. And let's go ahead and take a listen.
Goes viral showing Trump's history with Epstein. Here it is.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that. It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, you know, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I stand there with no sweat.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Let's talk about timeshare and maintenance fees.
Is that what you say? Did somebody say what? Okay.
I didn't say what. I was aware of all those things that were said on that last piece of video.
Yeah, let me I'm gonna rewind it just for a few seconds because that needs to be heard again.
I stand there with no sweat.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
From day one, I said Donald Trump is not in the business of protecting other people. He's in the business of protecting himself. Now, if protecting himself happens to also by proxy protect other people, so be it. Donald Trump is not releasing these files because he's in them. He's in them in a considerable way. So what he's doing now is he's hoping to change the focus by either A, making you not pay attention to the Epstein files any longer, or B, disrupting the credibility of the files themselves, saying that, well, the files were created by Obama and by Comey and Biden. So we went from the files containing Democrats in them to now the files being written by those very same Democrats. Thus, they must have no credibility. You're damn right he's in the files.
All right.
He's in the files. That's why he wants to call it fake news. And that's what the cry is going to be from here on. Obama, fake news, Comey, his daughter, Comey all over this. It's fake news. And people are lining up on his side that and saying that because he has that much power over them. We need to fight it.
Yeah, my main thing is I think he didn't know how much dirt was on him until he was president. And then once he realized that, they know about me saying that? Oh, they know about that girl? Hey, man, we can't talk about this. Hey, man, hey. Do what you got to do. Did it. And because like when he became president 2016 to 2020, they kind of talked about it, but they ain't really talk about it like we're going to expose it like before he became president. You can't get, my whole thing is, in America, we say, you should not have to incriminate yourself as far as your own words, by pleading the fifth. In my mind, this is him saying, I plead the fifth.
Well, actually, it's him saying something and then getting it. He was saying, if I'm become president, I'm gonna show you all this stuff about, this Epstein file, and it happened to be one of the promises he made in order to become president, and he never thought that he would have to follow through on that promise because he wasn't expecting to become president. And so now he has to, he caught the car, and now he has to do something with it, and he's not ready to do anything with it. And so that's his problem. He was
I'm pretty sure that the election was rigged in 2024 because it wasn't. He wouldn't have done his best to dismantle the government services. If he felt like he wanted fair and square. It's like, let me disrupt, because you remember, like, soon as he got in, he essentially fired anybody who had any kind of honor and integrity for the Constitution. And he basically said, hey, look, man, I'm gonna wreck all this, and in business that might work, but I don't think it works for government. What you about to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that whether or not he had whether or not it was rigged, he would have still done just what he did, and that is to remove those people from government. All right. Looking back at Project 25 and what it entails to be an autocracy, all right, he is moving in that line, all right, along those same lines. Like, hey, this is what Project 25 is about, all right. This is what we're doing. This is the first step. This is step one, all right. In terms of what, in terms of moving away from a democracy into an autocracy, all right, this is what it's going to look like. This is how we're going to do it. So, step one, phase one, get rid of anyone who is going to oppose the actions henceforth. Get rid of anyone who is going to create hindrance. And so that's just the start of it.
I agree.
Right.
I agree that the election was rigged, and it does or doesn't matter. And I agree that the president currently is moving into the space of being the dictator that he always wanted to be, and that doesn't matter. What's going on here in this case is this Epstein information is out on a man, and if a man cannot stand up and protect his reputation behind defending himself in court against facts about really what happened in his past, he needs to be convicted of something, or his reputation needs to be impeached, even if it's beyond the statute of limitation. So I just believe that this information needs to come out on this man, and it's going to change the reputation so that we have a better chance of making better decisions about him on a current day basis, because people don't understand this, and so they think he's still a good guy. My God, it's the worst criminal we've ever had as president.
I agree with you. He is the worst criminal. The only thing is he came in with felonies, so what can we really expect? You can't even work at McDonald's with his record.
Absolutely. You couldn't even work in education. You couldn't work as a administrator in many places. Your integrity is gone. 34, the type of felonies he has. My God.
All right. So just let y'all know in the backdrop, what we have here is emillions.org. It is the mandate studies where we actually went over the Project 2025, every chapter, every word. Yes, I went over it, and there were a bunch of other people that went over it with me. And if you want to learn more about that, just go ahead and go there. And essentially, Project 2025 is something that is like the playbook for the Republicans. The first person to really push it as a president was Ronald Reagan. If anybody's old enough to remember Ronald Reagan and know what he's done, you know that the reason why the middle class is in shambles now is because of Ronald Reagan. And this is a continuation of it. There's still stuff that we cannot take advantage of as far as the student loan opportunities that used to be happening in the 80s that Carter tried to implement, that Carter was blocked. Again, with our executive orders that we do for democracy, when we get to Carter's time, we will go into greater detail. Currently, right now, we have done President 1 through 24. Also, we've done Biden's, and we've done up current 2025 Trump. We will be going over shortly. I believe that we're going to be going back into more of the future for the next couple episodes, talking about Obama in Trump's last the term before on those executive orders, meaning there's going to be more detail, because if anybody who tries to look at the executive orders before 1947, you're not going to have a lot of success being able to pinpoint every exact executive order. It's not archived correctly. So because it's not archived correctly, all we can do is talk about the nature of their executive orders, what they were dealing with, and how some of what they did still affects today. We cannot go into greater detail as far as he said this on this day and this happened because of this. We can't do that, but we can at least know the nature of. But let's get back to this Project 2025. When we talk about Project 2025, if you go to eMillions, we go through 900 pages, and we also talk about the authors, the standards, diagnosing the reforms that they suggested, and having a deep understanding of how the taxpayers are being affected. And it is basically talking about the deep right. We also know that a lot of these people lack credibility, but at the same time, we have to figure it out. If you want to sign up for our news listing, you can easily sign up. There are a few places on emillions.org where you can sign up for it, where we have analyzed the White House, the POTUS role in the executive order, the managing the government bureaucracy, which is they say the government, what they call it, bulk or fat. And what's crazy is, I'm sorry to get on a tad bit on this, but a tangent, but I have to say this. White women actually thought they weren't minorities. And because they did not think they were minorities, they voted against their best interest. And many of them on the way out said, but I'm white. No, you are the first minority that any company is willing to hire. A white woman is the easiest person to hire because you get the perks of dealing with the diversity, inclusion, and equity inclusion. I said it wrong in order, but all of it was there. Some more things that the Project 2025 goes over will be the DOD, Homeland Security, Department of State, Intel community, media, how they treat both abroad in USA, international development agencies. They also go over the Department of Agriculture, of course, the Department of Education, which will be completely dismantled if they have their way August 1st, which is sad because it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be missing out on their education.
Absolutely.
Then we talk about the Department of Energy, EPA, HHS, HUD, the Department of Interior, DOJ, Department of Labor, Department of Transportation, Department of VA. Then we talk about the Department of Commerce, Department of Treasury, Export, Import, the IXM, the Federal Reserve, the SBA, Trade, Financial Regulatory Agencies, FCC, the FEC, the FCC, and there are other things that were analyzed when it comes to the thought process. There is a real big thought process of the onward And with the onward, it is basically them the ability to say, this is now, you have the baton, make it happen. And I'm stating this because if anybody can get this book, and this is not a dog whistle, this is a bull horn. That's what this is. And we got to combat this. I really appreciate you mentioning that. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Anybody got anything else to say about Project 2025 or anything else before we continue?
Military community.
All right. Let's go ahead and continue on.
If he's not in the files, that would mean that an individual who we know has absolutely no impulse control, does not believe in boundaries, has violated every restriction that law and constitution has placed on him, somehow had boundaries behind the scenes, somehow found moral clarity with an immoral human being, somehow was his best self among the worst human beings on the planet. I don't buy it. And neither do you. Let's go to it.
All right. What you say?
And now he's stealing trophies from the FIFA World Cup. Gold trophies, individual trophies, he's putting them in his pocket, and he's treating everything that is everybody else's as his. He has no control over his kleptomania. He's a thief also.
Yeah, you say he's a thief. I mean, you know, them Trump coins, you know, he made a lot of money with them Trump coins. And he did that day one. And even just making money on the name of you being the president used to be something they shunned. You know, you wasn't supposed to be able to make money with your name because that means that when you're office, everybody and their mama's going to bend over backwards for you because you are the president of the United States. Everyone in the world is scared of you because if I piss you off, I piss off the government. Therefore, I need to, I'm compelled. I'm compelled to do whatever you want. And that's the reason why he became president, so he didn't have to go to prison.
It's
That's
illegal.
crazy.
It's illegal how much money he's made. He's made more than half of his wealth since he's become president the second time through those crypto coins. And the way he's doing it is no kind of transparency to it. And so it's really stealing in plain sight.
All right, let's go ahead and continue on.
Have you guys seen the Trump coins? Have you seen? I mean, I know you're talking about. Have you seen it though?
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, I saw them. It's a few different ones. I've seen them.
Are you talking
about one?
No, not the crypto coin, not the crypto coins, like actual Trump coins. Yeah, like those.
Yeah. I've not seen those.
None.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I've seen them physically.
Do they cash like regular money?
You probably plated.
They're collector's items.
They're just
you can't
they're not really coins.
No.
Oh, they're trinkets.
Yeah, it's like the kind of stuff you find at the you know how you get the funny money when you're a kid playing that with the funny machines at the amusement park.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
The belief is that in the future you can, like, just like if you're a coin collector, right, where you can actually your coin is
Why
going to
does he
gain
look
value
like
over
it's told
time.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looks serious.
Hold on, I gotta save that image. He looks. I'll talk about it, like the face is bloated here. That's what I'm saying. Like, let me not say
that's why he looks that way.
I try to refuse to talk bad about someone's image because I feel like
it's an upgrade from what he looks. The reason he's brown is because it's an upgrade from white. The reason he looks with all those funny stuff, it's an upgrade from his pale, indescribable color. So,
but let's move on. Let's try to.
He's not orange. He's white.
Yeah, let's try not to talk about the man's features, because that's something that that to me, whenever you start talking about someone's features, it's like you have your argument has no credibility anymore, because now you're just cracking jokes and it's not talking about what the person's done. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about
what he's done is more important.
So let's get back to
it. After coming off the heels of this claim that President Barack Obama, James Biden were behind the Jeffrey Epstein files craze, Trump, in a stunning Truth Social post Wednesday, branded the Jeffrey Epstein story, which has been perpetrated by the highest ranking members of the Justice Department for years, as a hoax. He's now saying it's a hoax, a scam, etc. Quote, scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates, Trump said. He added, quote, their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years.
Producers, this plug.
Commercials. Hold on. Yeah, let's give it a second. I gotta let this commercial run. And as soon as it hits the proper amount of time. All right, there you go.
You know, so last week when I said that at some point they're going to say Jeffrey Epstein was a hoax, I was actually joking. Not to realize that a few days later, literally, they will be calling the whole thing a hoax. We're in the twilight zone. The president made clear he no longer wants the support of those who remain interested in the Epstein investigation. Quote, I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. Oh, God. And all these people want to talk about the strong prodding by the fake news and the success starved Dems. It's the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, Trump said. Quote, let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. I don't even think about talking of our incredible, unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. I mean, Trump, this is a little bit extreme for a difference of opinion here, sir. If it's only a difference of opinion and not something more like perhaps you're in the Epstein files yourself. If it's just a difference of opinion, why be so heavy-handed? Trump also continued this narrative during an interview. Here it is.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going.
No, I think bad people don't want it to continue being investigated. The comments from Trump come amid a raft of public criticism from prominent MAGA influencers over his handling of Epstein. and even public polling showing broad dissatisfaction among its base. A new CNN poll shows that 3% of the public, 4% of Republicans are satisfied with the amount of information the government has put out about the Epstein case. Those are historically low numbers for trust in the government on any level. What is this about? Well, is Trump in the Epstein files? Of course he is. Come on. Of course he is. When the Epstein files were about Democrats being part of an illegal prostitution ring that dealt with children, all of MAGA, and hopefully every single decent human being would say, we want that to be exposed, regardless of their political affiliation. I am still of the mindset that I want the list to be exposed, regardless of the political affiliation that it is connected to. So is Trump in them? Yes. But you see, others are too. Others are too. This is not just about protecting people. This is about protecting institutions, protecting possibly intelligence agencies, protecting by proxy what they have done or who they have been in cahoots with. Because if it is true, it means that multiple factions of not only this government, but possibly other governments have been involved in the trafficking of minors. That's what that would mean if true. Now, Trump likely wouldn't care about that, but he would care about himself. There's more. Put him up full mass. And despite Republicans voting down a measure that asks for the release of the Epstein files, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he favors.
Oh man, did y'all see the vote that took place? I think was it the Senate that took that vote like late night or whatever, or Congress, one of them two groups, like probably like 4 or 5 days ago, and it happened like past midnight. They voted and they do this stuff at night to hide it. They don't do this stuff during the day. They don't do this evil stuff when people are up to be able to comment. They do it when people are between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. They did it with the big, beautiful bill. And then they did it when it comes to this Epstein vote. Instead of them having it where somebody like you and me could go to work the next day and be able to see it fresh, brand new, because it's a regular day, they do it when you're supposed to be asleep. And what happened was somebody mentioned, I think it was even a Republican person mentioned it. And it was like a 7-5 ruling where 7 of the people, all of them being Republican. Remember, Republicans have more seats in any government faction right now. They have more seats. They have more power. So whatever they really want to happen, if they wanted to see Epstein files, they can see it. So basically, long story short, the head person basically say, hey, let's do one person say, hey, let's go ahead and get everyone to verbally say it one by one. And I just say that people should go back and look at those representatives that voted to not show it and understand that we're not dealing with honest people. Right. All right. I'm done with my soapbox. Anybody else got anything to say about that vote that took place about the Epstein files?
Yeah, that vote allowed them to at least have a vote to see if they were going to discuss it. And they decided not to discuss it. And it's ridiculous that these people can have such a big issue, talk about it, but not make any real decisions about it and just sweep it under the rug when it pertains to the president like it does. His best friend was this guy Epstein. Ridiculous.
All right.
The release of the Epstein files. Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. This is a quote. And I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him, answered the speaker. Quote, I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to the facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that, but I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there.
Yeah, did somebody say what?
Is
What was
that Mike Johnson saying he's going to put it out there even if Trump doesn't want to put it out there?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's crazy for Mike. Mike must have had some drunk some energy drink this morning.
You know what it is? He still has a baby conscience, and he knows that this is like, he at least has to show that he's against it. I don't think that he knows he can't show it himself, so he's doing mouth service, you know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Christian, so he has to at least give it lip service.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, sir, there's no there, according to Trump and the administration. If you recall, on Indisputable, I read the first proclamation from the Department of Justice. And they said things like, there's no credible evidence. And remember, I brought attention to the word credible. I said, for some reason, they have people who are weighing the credibility of the evidence, which, by the way, should be up to the judiciary to do so, and not the Department of Justice. I brought that to your attention. That is a wiggle word that they utilize, no credible evidence, meaning they question the credibility of the messenger or the credibility of the evidence they do have, meaning they do have evidence. The second dynamic I brought your attention to was the fact that they said that it wasn't used, or they don't have evidence that it was used to blackmail prominent individuals. Prominent, once again. What if it was used to blackmail individuals who had been victims? What if it was utilized to blackmail individuals who are minors or their families? You see, to them, those may not be prominent individuals, but nonetheless still illegal. And in my book, they are as prominent as they come. All right, Jackson, thoughts here.
I mean, the stupidity of this man just never ceases to leave me in awe. Like, Jeffrey Epstein was never a big factor in life. Like, he has nothing to say. Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
On top, we don't even need to get into who Jeffrey Epstein was and what he did, because we all know. But Donald Trump is just completely over his head with absolutely everything. And this particular issue seems to be what's really causing him the most trouble. Despite the fact that he's broken all of his campaign promises, he's stirring up the world, messing up our relationships with foreign countries. The big, beautiful bill that he just passed is going to destroy millions of people's lives. I saw he did an interview with his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, and she asked him about the big, beautiful bill. And it, like, he just signed it last week, and he was like, oh, people are already seeing savings. We're already seeing investment and manufacturing into the country like never before. Like, bro, you signed it a week ago. Like, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. And, on the one hand, it's easy to say that he gets away with everything and that he got away with all these felonies. But, what has he really gotten away with at the end of the day? Because now everything bad that happens while he's in office is going to be blamed on him, largely because it's because of him. It's his fault. And I guess it's going to take this particular issue to wake up some of his base, at least. We're seeing videos of people burning their MAGA hats and stuff like that. But I don't really know how he's going to hold it together going forward. People aren't going to stop talking about it. And the more that he begs everyone to shut up, the more people are Googling it, the more people are being reminded of it. Like, he's a Jeffrey Epstein, someone, nobody cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, nah, bro, people do. But yeah, it's just, this man is just a timeless buffoon. He is the most ridiculous human being I've ever seen. And studying people is what I do.
Yeah. And, the question is, Trump, were you being blackmailed by the
Putin
Epstein?
Oh, okay. I get what he said. He's basically saying, like, one reason why he might not be trying to expose anybody is because that might be what the Russians got on him or something.
Yes. The P tape is real.
Yeah.
The P tape that Russia supposedly has on Trump or something is a piece of evidence or some reputational information that he doesn't want to come out to affect his reputation. And that is what Putin has on him. And so that's why he's allowing Putin to do the summer attack instead of stopping him this week with some attacks on Moscow like he should do.